Okay, hello and good morning. Let's take a look at some bell work here. First of all, what are the three forms of an equation? Okay, there's only three forms. Number one, point slope, or A. Point would be y minus y equals m times x minus x. And right here is where you substitute B. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And then finally, standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. And you need to know all three of these forms. Okay. All right. And by the way, fourth period, make sure you turn in your exemptions so I can turn them into the office. Let's go on. Write in slope-intercept form. Well, to do that, you have to first know what slope-intercept form is. So put y equals mx plus b, and then put your slope, y minus y, x minus x. Okay, so go backwards, 0 minus 2, and 4 minus a negative 2. When you do that, you get negative 2, this becomes a plus, so that becomes 6, which reduces to negative 1/3. So you're going to do y minus your y. Well, you can use either point. Okay, I'm going to use this one because it's easier. It's got a 0. So y minus 0 equals your slope, which is negative 1/3, because you have to reduce that, and then x minus your x, which is 4. Okay, to get it in slope-intercept form, you got to get y by itself. So this cancels. So you get y equals, you have to distribute here. So you get negative 1/3 x. Remember the trick? Put a 1 under here and then multiply. Negative times a negative, that's 2 negatives, so that becomes a plus. 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 1 is 3, and you can leave it like that. And that is called slope-intercept form, and you're done. Are these lines parallel or perpendicular? Remember, parallel is the same slope. Perpendicular, you got to flip it and change it, negative reciprocal. So here, draw your line, circle the y. So you're going to add 24x to both sides. So you get negative 16y equals 24x plus 16. Then you want to divide by negative 16. You're only looking at this, so you got to reduce it. 8 goes into 24 3 times. 8 goes into 16 2 times. The negative is on the bottom, but you can move it to the top. Okay, well, let's take a look. Here, the slope is negative 3/2, and here the slope is negative 3/2. So these lines are parallel. Okay, that's it. Now, to check for perpendicular, you would actually flip only one of these and change it and see if it equals the other one. All right, and if it's not either of those, it's neither. Okay, so for geometry kids, work this one on a new sheet of paper. Get out your white paper. All right, well, you were taught Pythagorean's theorem, so color the box. Put these together. So it's 4 squared plus x squared equals 8 squared. So that's 16 plus x squared equals 64. Subtract 16. So you get x squared equals whatever that is. 50, I think it's 48. Check it on your calculator. And then hit the square root. So the answer is the square root of 48. So let's check it. 64 minus 16 is 48. Shift square root 6.9. Make sure you understand Pythagorean's theorem. right, let's go on. Try this one as well, geometry students. It says graph and find the partition. Well, let's graph it. So you want to go -2 up 4 and put an A over 6, 5, 6, and then down 4. Connect it. Remember the hint. The hint is to draw, I'm use a different color, a right triangle. That's the hint for the partition. The second step, step number 2, is to count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 spaces here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces here. So there's 8 and 8. And what you're going to do is take 3/4. It says from A, so you want to go on this side right here. So take 3 over 4 times 8 over 1. 4 goes into 4 once. 2 times 3 is 6. So you want to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then go over, and it hits right here. So your answer on the EOC is going to be over 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 5 and -2. And it's really kind of hard to tell without graph paper. That's your answer. Okay? So this point is 3/4 of the way from A to B. Now, if they want it 3/4 of the way from B to A, then you'd have to go this way and then go up. In other words, you would take 3 over 4 times 8 over 1, which is this one. They're both the same. So that gives you 6. So you're going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is here, and then go up. That answer from B to A, 3/4, would be over 0, up 2, it looks like. Okay? And that's how you do the partition. Remember, if they say find the partition, you graph it and you make a right triangle. You count the boxes, you multiply, and then you count and go over. And where it hits the line, that point is your solution. All right, today, both classes are going to be doing this worksheet. So if you're at home, you can scratch this out and say MCR and geometry. Okay? So let's take a look at this worksheet. I will put it on Canvas, and the video will be there also. So make sure you guys are studying this weekend. All right? Remember, retesting starts next Wednesday, and it will go through Sunday. And then when I come back to work, I have to figure out and do grades. All right, so let's work these. Number 1 says right and slope intercept form. This one right here, we need 2 points. It's kind of hard to tell where it hits directly. Okay, like this one hits at that box, so that would be a point. -2, up 2, okay? But it doesn't look like we have another one that hits directly on the box, okay? So I'm not sure we're going to be able to do this one, all right? Whereas this one hits right on the box, you see? All right, not right here. It's close, but not right there. So this point, we're going to skip this one because the ones I give you will hit somewhere on the box, and this one doesn't seem to. Anyway, we're going to go -4, -2 on this one. Then this one is over 4, up 5. So what you do now is find your slope, okay? So you're going to go y minus y. So it's going to be 5 minus a -2. And then x minus x. So 4 minus a -4. This becomes a plus, so you get 7 over 8. So that's your slope, okay? So your formula, they want slope-intercept form, so that's y equals mx plus b. Now I'm going to need a new sheet of paper here because I'm going to have to do some work. So pay attention. So now I have my slope. And you get to use one of these points. This one has negative, so I'm going to use this one. So it's going to be y minus 5 is equal to my slope, and then x minus my x, which is 4. Now they want slope-intercept form, so you got to solve for y. So you're going to distribute, so you're going to get y minus 5 is equal to 7 over 8x. You have to use the trick and put a 1 under here. So a positive times a negative is a negative, so that's going to be 28 over 8. Okay? And then you're going to add 5 to both sides, put a 1 under here. We're almost done. It's a little sloppy because it's a fraction. Your least common denominator is 8, so multiply by 8 on this one. So you're going to get 28 over 8, a negative, and then a positive 40 over 8. And when you add that up, I think you get positive 12 over 8. So plus 12 over 8. And then you got to reduce this, and then you're done. You divide by 4. 4 goes into 12, 3. 4 goes into 8, 2. And there it is. And make sure you understand how to do that. Okay? This next one says write an equation in slope-intercept form. So that's y equals mx plus b. And here's your y-intercept. Here's your slope. So it's real simple. It's y equals negative 2x plus 1/2, and you're done. This one is similar, so it's going to be y equals your slope plus 1/3, and you're done. The answers are on the back so you can check, okay? What are the slopes and intercepts? Slope and y-intercept. Well, your slope is here. That's your slope. And your y-intercept is a negative 3 over 7. Really simple. The y-intercept here looks like a negative 1/2 is what I'm going to say. So your y-intercept is negative 1/2. And your slope, I'm going to do slope a little differently. I'm going to use a right triangle here. So this one is, if I go down, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would be a negative 9 if I go down, and then I go over 2. So slope is rise over run. So it's going to be a negative 9. So it's going to be y equals negative 9 over 2, rise over run, x minus 1/2. And that's how you would do that. Now, can you do it a different way? Sure. You can find the slope of these 2 points, which should be this, and then you got to figure out where it crosses the y-axis. And you look at the graph. It looks like a negative 1/2. All right, let's go on. On the back side, they want you to graph the equations. Well, let's talk about this. Here's your slope. So your slope is 5 over 8, rise over run. Your point is right here, but remember it's the opposite of this. So your x is the opposite of a plus 1, and your y is a plus 4. You might say, well, why is it? Because your formula is x minus something. In order for it to be a plus, it would have to be a negative 1. So just remember the opposite. So the point is here, and that's your slope. So to graph it, you're going to go ahead and take this point, which is negative 1, and then up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a dot. Then you're going to go up 5 from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to go over to the right 8. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here's how you do it. Now, you didn't get many of these from me this year, but there it is. Write an equation in point slope. These are easy. You definitely had this. So it's going to be y minus your y, which is this one, equals your slope, which is this one. Happens to be the same thing. And then x minus 7. Real simple. Okay? This one you do it the same way. Y minus your y is equal to your slope, and then x minus 6. Real simple. Okay. Number 12. What are the x and y intercepts? Okay, so let's write this down. So 3x plus 2y is equal to 18. to find the x-intercept where it crosses the x-axis, where does it cross the x-axis? You let y equal 0. So you cover this up. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. So the x-intercept is 6. To find the y-intercept, you cover this one up. 18 divided by 2 gives you 9. So the y-intercept is 9. If you had to graph it, you would go over 6, and then your y-intercept is 9, so you would go up 9, and then you would graph it like this. That's called your x and y intercepts. All right, let's go on. Number 14, write an equation for the line that is parallel. Parallel has the same slope. So for this one, your slope is 3. So it's y minus your y is equal to your slope, and then x minus your x. You can clean that up by putting pluses. Okay, so parallel has the same slope. Perpendicular, you got to flip it and change it. So your slope is -3. You put a 1 under it. You flip, change. Okay, so you're going to get a positive when you change it in 1/3. So your answer is going to be y minus your y is equal to 1/3, and then x minus your x, which is a -2. And that's perpendicular. Okay? We're almost done. I might have skipped a few, but oh well. Let's go here. Tell whether or not the lines are parallel or perpendicular. Remember, to get parallel perpendicular, this has to be the same. This one has to be flip and change. And if it's neither one of these, then you put neither. We did this one on the bell work. You have to get y by itself and compare your slopes. Okay, so the steps, copy this down. Get y equals for both of them, and then compare slopes. Step 2, compare slopes. Okay, that's your work for today, and it just so happens that it's for both classes. Here are the answers. Okay, good luck.